Deep beneath the Frostback Mountains sits Orzammar, the larger of two known remaining dwarven cities in the world. Orzammar was once the seat of a major empire connected by tunnels called Deep Roads, which stretched thousands of miles. The city now stands alone, cut off from the rest of the dwarven ancestral lands by the Darkspawn incursion. Secure in Orzammar's impregnable construction, the dwarven noble houses continue their centuries-old power struggles. Assassination and blackmail are commonplace, but the appearance of honor is paramount. You are the second child of King Endren of House Aeducan, the 9th Aeducan ruler elected by the Noble Assembly. You grew up in a world rife with political intrigue, and have struggled against brothers and cousins for honor and prestige. Today, a feast celebrates your first military commission, the opening move towards real power in the ever-changing game of dwarven politics.
Greetings, my lord. You are dressed and ready. Excellent. I couldn't find the armor's matching dagger, but I scrounged up a rather fancy longsword. Do you wish to wear your shield to the noble's feast? Why not? Keep your thoughts to yourself, then. I just serve my noble lord, silently, humbly, out of the way. One can't take all this marching about and speech-making too seriously. Moving on to the business at hand. The king expects you to make an appearance at the feast, but there's no rush. The noble family heads will spend hours boring your father with petitions and petty grievances. As part of the celebrations, permits have been auctioned off to members of the merchant caste who wish to sell wares in the Diamond Quarter. Lord Harrowmont has also opened up the provings for young warriors to test their mettle before tomorrow's battle. Perhaps we should go show them what single combat is really all about. And by we, I mean you. I'll practice my cheering. You remember last year's open proving? It took your father Smith 6 hours to remove my helmet. I'm not meant for single combat. I fight as my lord's second in shield. That's enough for me. Right behind you, my lord. The day is ours until the feast.
I am proud to serve the Aeducan.
Valen? Oh. I'm sorry.
Delighted. All right.
I'm sorry. I thought you were Prince Balin coming down the hall. Forgive me.
It seems she's one of your brother Balin's newest, companions. Prince Balin is attending the feast being held in Lord Iduken's honor.
Yes, of course. It was presumptuous of me to think that he would return to... I am sorry. I will show myself out, with your leave, my lord. Thank you. I will go now.
Your father has allowed the merchants to show their wares in the Diamond Quarter during these celebrations.
I'm sure we can work this out reasonably. It's in the records. There's nothing I can do. Please, Master Volney. My work is accredited by the Shaper.
These books are lies written by the enemies of House Volney.
I write only what I find in the ancient records. Lord Iduken, you can vouch for my work, can't you? Your father loved my History of Iduken, Paragon King, Peacemaker.
This worm has written a book that slanders my house. It doesn't matter, it's all lies.
My work tells the stories of all those raised paragons in the last 500 years. When the Assembly names a paragon, that man or woman is then, by definition, everything one can aspire to be in the world. They form their own noble houses and are revered as living ancestors. But paragons start off as men.
Volney was more than a man.
If I remember my lessons, Volney was a controversial choice as paragon.
It's so good to see some reverence for history among the young generation. Volney became a paragon by the narrowest margin in history. One vote. A vote mired in rumors of intimidation, intrigue, and outright bribery. The records of that vote are kept in the Shaperate and are a matter of fact. Not liking history doesn't make it any less true.
You're taking his side? What if he published a book like this about your paragon Iduken? You would not say so if it was your house, but I shall respect your wishes. For now, excuse me, Your Highness.
That fool has no idea how weak his house is or how low he sits in it. Shall I have him killed, my lord? As you say.
You've shown House Iduken a friend to research, history, and the glory of our people. Of course, I have much to document and organize. Good day, Your Highness, and thank you.
Ah, my friend. Enjoying the festivities so far?
Quite.
Have you heard about tomorrow's assault on the Darkspawn burrows?
Who hasn't?
They say they are going to strike a blow at the Horde, but a rumor has it they are actually searching for Branka.
The Paragon? Why search? The ancestors have risen her up to join them.
You don't think she's still out there?
Impossible.
The finest in home decorations!
My Lord Iduken, you honor me by visiting my humble booth. May I show you my wares? Not for a mighty warrior such as yourself, my lord, but perhaps a lady friend. I forget myself. I'll be silent.
This looks to be mostly fabrics from the human lands. These merchants form alliances with those who have abandoned our ways to live on the surface. According to the scholars, more than 500. Does it matter? The surfacers are lost to us. Perhaps we should get going.
Our trust follow, big brother. How surprising to run into you out among the common folk.
Especially since duty requires that you attend our King Father at the feast today. Have you so little respect for him to disregard his wishes on a day set aside for you?
Lord Harrowmont told me we wouldn't be needed for hours at least.
Silence! If I want the opinion of my siblings second, I will ask for it.
Yes, Your Highness.
I speak to lower houses and castes as they should be spoken to. Now do as I say. Your lack of a sense of duty to your house is obvious. I can't imagine why you are receiving a commission. I expect after tomorrow I'll spend much time apologizing to the heads of the noble houses for the deaths of their children under your incompetent command.
That's a bit harsh, isn't it, Trian?
As heir to the throne, it is my duty to impart wisdom and judgment upon those who need it. Now then, you, get to the feast. Stubborn, aren't you? When I'm king, I will help you get over that. Come, Balin.
That was fun. Nothing like being talked down to by the next king. We can only hope. Perhaps we should get going.
Look at this piece, darling. It rivals even the work of the Paragon Smith herself.
Nonsense, woman. Your words bring shame upon our house. See how the edges are rough and pitted? Would you compare this to Branca's work? Trust a woman to speak of things she doesn't understand.
My Lord Idukan, nothing here rivals your amazing Idukan armor, but if you wish something made...
You know very well House Idukan has its own royal armorers.
Of course. Forgive me. You honor me, Your Highness.
I doubt he's up to the task. I'm not going down that road again.
Oh, I would love to end up with a red head.
Would that Sir Blackstone were a noble, hmm? Stand up straight. They're coming.
What have we here? Two handsome, strapping, noble lords. You both look so grand.
And isn't this the man of the hour, the king's son?
Who's your friend, my lord? Another noble from the honored House Idukan? Oh, then not a noble?
No, Telly, not a noble. Stone you're thick sometimes.
They're noble hunters, my lord. A man takes his caste from his father, and these women hope to bear a noble lord's son. If one is successful, she's raised up to concubine in the noble house to care for her child. It provides new sword arms for the house, and many nobles look favorably on such women.
Shall I come to your chambers after the ceremony, then?
I talked to him first. I want him.
He's looking for a woman, Telly, not a little girl. I'm Marty, and I know how to give my lord a night he'll remember. No fear, Telly. Many nobles will fancy a younger girl. I will see you when the ceremony ends, my lord.
Delighted.
Greetings, my lord Iduken. I am so honored to have you visit my booth. I have a proposition, but I dared not approach.
Yet you dare now. Very well then, speak.
Yes, just so. Here's the thing. What I mean to say is... Sorry. So nervous. I had a dagger made, for you, as a gift for your first command. I sent a messenger to deliver the dagger to you. Prince Trian had him thrown out. I don't know what offense he caused, but I had him beaten severely. Here it is, your highness.
That's an amazing piece, merchant.
You do me much honor, sir. The blade has been crafted over a period of 2 years by masters of every art. I wish to bless the Lord's first command, and hope that someday, when he rules, he will wear it.
Trian is heir. He will rule when King Endrin returns to the stone.
If the Assembly wills it. Forgive me, sir, but whispers say the second child of Endrin will be chosen.
Whispers indeed. It's a princely gift. If Trian recognizes it, though, it may send the wrong message. Or the right one, depending on your view.
Thank you. You bring uncountable honor to me.
What he means is that you'll bring uncountable gold to him if you wear that piece in public.
My lord.
My lord? You honor me, your highness.
Lord Iduken, here, in my booth? I am so...
He's fainted. You make quite the impression these days. Is it hard to be the king's child, never able to just blend in? It's the price of power, I suppose. Shall we move along?
My lord, are you heading to the proving arena? We have been charged with the task of escorting you to the proving grounds.
I clean forgot about that. Forgive me, I should have informed you sooner. The king decided you are not to travel through the commons unguarded. I did mention the merchants that won permits to show their goods in the Diamond Quarter. There were only so many permits auctioned off, and quite a few were turned away. Your father fears you will be harassed on the way to the proving.
Will we be leaving then? We are at your command.
Your Highness, it is an honor to have you here. Have you come to watch these brave warriors do battle in your honor? Your Highness, this proving is in your honor.
Then honor him by doing as he says. My Lord Iduken will fight in this proving.
Of course, it is well within your rights. Men and women of Orzammar, we have a late entry to these provings, held on the eve of battle for the honor of House Iduken. I give you the Lord Iduken himself. ready for your first match? Then let us begin! This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Iduken. Lord Iduken will fight Aler Bimo, youngest son of Lord Bimo.
You honor me with this match.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! That was quite a fight. Aler Bimo is no slouch with that hammer. Are you ready for your next opponent? Adal Helmi, a woman, Your Highness. She's a tenacious fighter. Excellent. Let us go. This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Iduken. Lord Iduken will fight Adal Helmi, eldest daughter of Lady Helmi.
Honor and glory to your house, Your Highness.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! That was a crowd pleaser. Many were waiting to see that woman put in her place. Sir Blackstone is your next opponent. Are you ready to face him? One of the best of the warrior caste. He achieved glory in close combat assault in the deep roads. Then let us begin! This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Iduken. Lord Iduken will fight Sir Blackstone, Deep Road squad leader of the warrior caste.
This is your education, child. Try to learn as you bleed.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. Fight! Lord Iduken. Well done. You have proven that even the best of the warrior caste cannot match a noble Idukan. Franklin Ivo is your final opponent. He too has had many victories today. Are you ready to face him, or will you rest first? He is a decorated fighter who prefers unusual weapons and rarely fights with the same techniques twice.
House Ivo is relatively inconsequential, but Franklin may change that. He's expected to take a full command of his own soon.
Very good. This is a glory proving, fought under the watchful eyes of the Paragons of Orzammar, for the honor of House Idukan. It is down to just 2 warriors, with backbones of stone and wills of iron. They have defeated all others this day. Lord Idukan will fight Franklin Ivo, second son of Lord Ivo.
You fight well. I wish you glory today and glory tomorrow.
First warrior to fall is vanquished. The victor is champion. Fight!
You're no match for me!
No quarter! The winner is Lord Idukan. Congratulations. Franklin Ivo is as fierce a competitor as I've ever seen. You vanquished every warrior of note in today's proving. The ceremonial helm, commissioned by your father for today's winner, is yours. The people will remember your honor and generosity for all time.
My lord? We will take a break when we are done here. For now, we are here to serve. Your wish is our command.
And so I shall.
Look, the Great Wardens are here.
Might I
The raid tomorrow must be more than a standard mission. The Wardens only go where the Darkspawn are the greatest threat.
Many thanks for your willingness to hear me out, my lord. I wish to speak to you of a matter most urgent.
It looks as if the heads of House Bimo and Mino are keeping your father busy. Which leaves you plenty of time for our dear old friend, Lord Dace.
You're a credit to your caste, Sir Gorham. I've always said so. If I had a daughter, I'd give her to you and make you the noble you deserve to be.
You honor me, my lord.
Let us just pretend we spent another 10 minutes wishing good things on each other's houses, yes? There is a vote coming before the Assembly next week, and a word from you could go a long way towards helping our cause. The vote concerns the status of the so-called surface caste. Lost to the stone, air-touched, and so forth. Centuries ago, narrow-minded men declared that any dwarf who left to live on the surface forfeited his caste, and his house if noble. That he was, in essence, no longer a dwarf. I seek only to remedy an injustice, to retie the bonds of anyone who can trace himself to one of the noble houses wherever he may live. Please, agree to speak for this noble cause. Those on the surface are our lifeline. They facilitate trade with the surface. They're honorable and, well, let's be honest. I don't care a whit for those who have wandered from the stone. My wife, however, is a gem of a different color. She has a cousin, a useless sort, but she's quite fond of him. He joined a speculative venture to the surface, hoping to make his fortune, and went bust. Now he wishes to come home, but he cannot, for he has no house and would be casteless. For my wife's sake, I take up his cause. Will you lend me your voice? When your father presents you to the noble houses, I will ask for your opinion on the matter. You have merely to say that you feel our surface brothers should be returned their noble rights. What could be more simple?
You're a fool. Your mother would melt the stone if she knew what you just did. Lord Dace is playing you false. Go ahead, be his puppet. Your first command will be marked by every major house turning their back on you. If you are to play in the games of the Assembly, make sure you know the motivations of the players. Last spring, a guild from the merchant caste invested heavily in an expedition with a guild from the surface. Lord Dace backed the merchant guild, pouring a great deal of money into the venture. The expedition was a disaster. Clever child. Lord Dace lost a great deal of money and prestige. The Surface Guild has no way to repay the investment, but it does have several leading members who are descended from noble houses. House Helmi, Bimo, Dukin.
She's saying that if the air-touched dwarves have their connections to their houses restored, you'll end up footing the bill for Lord Dace's disaster.
Oh, if I were 20 years younger, I'd bed you just to get some of that quick wit in my house. Your house and mine would be forced to pay the Surfacer's kin debts. It would be a great victory for Lord Dace. If you call his bluff, then you lose your chance to turn the tables. Let him think he has you. Smile and nod, and when he asks his question, tell him that the so-called Surface Caste are right where they belong. That should take Lord Dace down a peg or two. Good. Your house's reputation hangs in the balance.
You return. Were my instructions unclear? And what did she have to say? I see. Some preposterous story, I'm sure. I suppose it could. I mean, well, it's the spirit of the law that's important, right? Our poor, disenfranchised service brothers. Ah, well played, Your Highness. Welcome to Assembly politics. Now, if you'll excuse me... You haven't made a friend here today.
Greetings, my lord Idukan. It is an honor to meet you at last. I have had the opportunity to recently meet with your father. He speaks highly of you. He says you may be the quickest fighter in all of House Idouken. Your response speaks of maturity beyond your years. We need more Grey Wardens like you, and quickly. Even as the Darkspawn weaken here in Orzammar, they are stirring on the surface. A blight has begun. Soon the fight must go beyond the deep roads, lest the Darkspawn threaten all the world. You know of our dedication to destroying the Darkspawn, our frontline presence during a blight. What else would you know? Over the centuries, many dwarves have made names for themselves in our order. These days, however, there are fewer dwarves, and thus even fewer dwarven Grey Wardens. A pity, since dwarven warriors have the most experience fighting Darkspawn. I'm afraid not. Grey Wardens go where they're needed most. Right now, that is on the surface at the ruins of Ostagar, where the Human King gathers his armies to face the Blight. Being a Grey Warden means abandoning all ties to your old life. It means dedicating yourself to destroying the Darkspawn. Then it is a good thing that you have other paths before you. Some are not so lucky. I wish you luck in the deep roads tomorrow. Show the Darkspawn the might of your people.
My king, please reconsider. Trade contracts alone could bring great prosperity to our houses.
Will we really turn our back on our brothers and a potential fortune in cheap labor because of a political technicality?
Denial of the traditions of our people does not qualify as a political technicality. There is more to life than monetary gains, my lords Bimo and Mino. The Assembly of Kal Sharrak will respect the rule of Orzammar, or they will rot and die alone, surrounded by enemies.
Yes, my king.
But look, we have company to spare us further wrangling. Atrast Vala, my son. How fine you look in your great-grandfather's armor. I hear you were declared champion of the Provings. I suppose you were never one to sit by when something exciting was going on. Are you ready to be presented to the heads of the noble houses? These rituals have their place. It behooves you to get to know the nobles and let them know you. Lords, ladies, grant me a moment of your time. We are here today so I may present to you my second eldest child, blessed by the stone and born of the blood that ran in the veins of the Paragon Idouken. Who would pose a question to the prospective commander? Who seeks to know the prospect better? No? Very well then. The ritual is complete. I give you Orzammar's next commander. Tomorrow, our newest commander will lead part of a mission to strike a great blow to the Darkspawn. Not only does this recover access to some of our most important mines, but it also allows our honored guest Duncan, head of Ferelden's Grey Wardens, to strike far into the deep roads.
Thank you, King Endrin. While the Darkspawn seem to withdraw, it is only because they are massing on the surface. This could mean a blight, and my men and I will discover the truth.
We are honored to have you with us, my friend. Now, feast, drink, and celebrate, for the morning brings battle! As for you, my new commander, find your brother Trian and send him to me. He may be watching the Provings, or getting some rest in his rooms. Walk well, Commander.
No sign of trouble here.
sire. And so I shall.
Your Highness, what a surprise. I apologize if we... You're in your way.
My lord has returned. Is there something here that interests you? Please, look as you will.
I am at your service.
So you are a commander now, in name at least. Shouldn't you be attending our King Father? Of course he does. We must discuss strategy before tomorrow's battle. Balin, stay here and stroke the new commander's conceit if you like, but then get to bed.
All day I've put up with that. He can really grate on the nerves. Is it also his right to secure his own power at the expense of everyone around him? Trian has begun to move against you. I never thought his much-proclaimed honor would allow him to actually act on his jealousy. Big brother, Trian is going to try to kill you. I overheard him giving orders to some of his men, and I was shocked. Then it began to make sense. Trian's decided you're a threat to his taking the throne. Maybe he's right. He fears what you are becoming, in the eyes of the people and the Assembly. Trian's the named prince, but only the Assembly can proclaim a king. It would be unusual for the Assembly to ignore the king's choice, but it does happen.
The founder of House Vimo became a paragon and king in one move from the Assembly, and he was a commoner.
That was an extraordinary case, but at least a half-dozen times the Assembly named a lesser family member, or even someone from another house, as king. Usually, it's the popular younger brother of an undesirable prince. Look at it from his perspective. You're more personable than he's ever been. You entered the provings held in your own honor just for glory and to please the crowds. If you win glory against the Darkspawn tomorrow, it will only strengthen the case for you as the next heir. Trian Veer's father will replace him on the spot. If not, the Assembly will surely turn against him when father dies. You know his pride will never allow him to step aside. It seems Trian has shown that brothers can't always be trusted. I am next in line. If Trian succeeds in his plot against you, how long do you think I'll live? You're my elder. I'll respect any decision you make, but please be careful. I don't want to lose the brother I actually like. One of us has to. I'm taking your place as father's second, so I'll be at hand tomorrow. For now, try to get some sleep.
May the Paragon smile down on you.
Trian and his men will clear the way for the Grey Wardens to descend into the easternmost caverns. Those caverns are still infested by the worst of the Darkspawn. We cannot risk our own troops in there.
Understood, Lord Harrowmont. We should be able to sense the Darkspawn and avoid them once the way is open.
May the Paragons favor you, and the stone catch you if you fall.
Come then! Glory awaits!
Balin, you and your men will second the king, clearing the main road.
Don't you think it looks a little cowardly to allow these humans to take our place where the fighting is thickest?
Are you questioning the battle plan?
Of course not. I'm sure your caution is for the glory of us all.
Enough, Balin. Take your men and make ready. Harrowmont and I need to have words with your sibling.
Good luck, my brother.
Your father has a special mission for you.
In the eastern deep roads, there is a secret door carved into the stone.
The door leads to a Taig, abandoned long ago by your ancestors. The Darkspawn have made it impossible to reach it.
My father believed that the shield of the Paragon Aidukan remains in that Taig, under the stones of the central room. Reclaim the shield, and glory will be yours. My father's writings speak only of the shield. There may be countless other treasures, but only the shield matters.
We've sent 2 scouts ahead to make sure the tunnels are cleared. But be careful. One of the scouts will meet you at the first crossroads you come to. The second will be further in. When you get to the door, use your signet ring to open it. Questions? The crossroads where you meet the first scout will be the rendezvous point. There you can present the shield to the Lords and demonstrate the strength of Aidukan.
May the ancestors watch over you, my child.